Alright y'all, what's going on? This your boy Snake Eyes once again. Welcome back to the Snake Eyes Need the Dollar channel. Alright, so before we get started with today's video, I almost forgot my damn intro. Before we get started with today's video, I need y'all to do a few things for me as always. Like, comment, subscribe, fire, kick all y'all asses. I was playing, I know I'll do already. Follow me on both my social medias, Twitter, SnakeEyes_dollar, the dollar to Dame Dollar. Instagram, all lowercase, SnakeEyes_W dollar. Now, today's video, recapping yesterday's events on this beautiful fine Tuesday night. Recapping yesterday's events, Monday Night Football, Chiefs and the Eagles. We are officially 9-1. I'm really happy about that. I think the score was 21-7. I don't remember the damn score. Whatever. Okay, so we'll talk about the Jalen Carter shoplifting situation. Okay? First and foremost, I know it's a bullshit story when you have no... Now, granted, I don't live in Philadelphia. But, here's the thing. I don't live in Philadelphia, so obviously I'm not going to find out if it's breaking news or not. But I'm sure ESPN would have covered it. Adam Schefter... One of these NFL, Don Kleiman, one of these NFL analysts would have covered this shit. Because it's big news. Jalen Carter's like damn near the best defensive rookie in the NFL as of right now, right? So, you know, no, he's not even damn near. He is the best defensive rookie in the league at this point. Obviously, it's really between him and that Witherspoon guy from Seattle. But really, I got him running away with Defensive Rookie of the Year. Like, his impact is immediate, and he's doing this on way less snaps than your average elite starting pass rusher, right? But he's putting up elite numbers. You know, that's even unreal for a rookie in a way. You understand where I'm coming from? So, yeah. So, already red flag. So the only news I heard from was like a couple of casual ass niggas. There's no security camera footage anywhere. And I best believe if he would have been accused of shoplifting, they would have booked him. They would have booked him. They would have booked him. Police report would have been filed. Cameras would have caught what was taking place. None of that should happen. Not Adam Schefter or anybody climbing or reporting on this story. So here's the real situation. It's cool to be a fan. If you're a Cowboy fan or somebody else from the NFC East, maybe you don't like the fucking Eagles in general. It's okay, like, fuck the Eagles. Okay, that's y'all opinion, alright? Fuck the Eagles, fuck Jalen, all that. That's y'all opinion. That's something with y'all. But when y'all start making shit up about, you know, criminal activity that has not taken place, y'all look like fucking morons. You understand where I come from? It's a difference between saying, well, I hate the Eagles, I hate, you know what I'm saying? Because that's just y'all preference, your NFC East rival, whatever the case may be. I understand the sentiments of that, right? Even though I won't go out of my say to say, fuck Michael Parsons, fuck Daniel Jones. Like, I don't give a shit. Like, don't get me wrong, I take the rivalry a tad bit, just a little seriously. But nothing to the point where it's like influencing my everyday life. Because I know that there are human beings that just happen to play on a different team and the other team happen to be in our same division. But I don't hold it to like, fuck Dak Prescott, this, that, and the third. I don't do that. To me, it's, to y'all, some of y'all, I think, whatever, you know, whatever floats y'all boats. To me, that shit is weird behavior. That's just my opinion. That's how I feel. Like, you're really hell-bent on saying fuck another human being because they play for another team that just happened to be in a division, you're a fucking weird. I'm telling you, you're a weirdo. To me, you're a weirdo. And if you think otherwise, then that's on you. You're a weird-ass nigga. I'm keeping it real with you. Okay? So, making up criminal activity or making up a story where there's no security camera footage, there's not Schefter or anybody report, which would have been the guys on the front line been, you know, putting this out immediately. Y'all just making shit up and trying to ruin this young man who is, you know, trying to just make a way for himself. You know what I'm saying? And it's just, to me, it's very fucking foul. It's almost, it's going too far if you ask me. You know what I'm saying? It's okay to say, well, you know what, like, fuck the Eagles, whatever the case may be. But, like, when you start making up shit, talking about a player did some criminal activity, when the stealing shit, this man makes millions of dollars. This nigga was drafted, like, I think, like, number 6. Drafted, he was a 6th fucking pick of the draft. He's getting money. He's making millions of dollars. Why the fuck would he sit up there and go shoplift? What sense does that make? And then, so I was on Twitter. I found this on Twitter, and then I seen somebody had posted a picture of Jalen Hurts, I guess, taking a picture with one of the department store employees, saying I was there, he didn't do anything. Which, you know, I appreciate the gesture. I think that was really cool of him to come to his defense. But the real situation, it had no legs to stand on. I mean, if you really believe this shit, you're a fucking moron. Because the front runners of who the guys that report this news, they didn't say anything. The news didn't say, official news channel didn't say anything. It's some shit that y'all are fucking, you have no jobs. You're not doing that with your life. Y'all motherfucking, y'all ain't got no women. I mean, listen, if you up here fucking making up stories about a motherfucker that you don't know personally off the fact that you just happen to hate the Eagles, maybe you don't like Jalen Carter as a player, whatever the case may be, I can tell you either unemployed and you definitely get no pussy. You're a weird motherfucker. Because there's no way I'm thinking about another man. Listen, Devontae is my favorite wide receiver. Marshall Lattimore, like I don't want to go into this whole debacle, right? I got favorite players in the league. Obviously, I'm a Kyrie fan. If you know me on Twitter, you already know I'm a huge ass. I'm one of the biggest Kyrie fans ever. Point being, that's not really. I'm not trying to get into all my favorite players. That's not the point of this video, right? It's the Eagles video. The point I'm trying to make is this: I don't think about these niggas 24/7. Why? Because I don't know these people. I have a life outside of thinking about my favorite athletes. I love to watch them play. You know what I'm saying? I think it's a huge bonus if they're good people off the field. I would imagine that my favorite players are good people off the field. I would hope so, right? And not being just pieces of shit. I would hope so. It ain't, you know what I'm saying? But I don't think about these men 24/7 because, one, I'm not gay. And there's no disrespect. I'm not saying this to disrespect anybody who is, but I'm not gay. First and foremost. So I don't even think about another nigga 24/7. Two, I don't know these people. I watch them on TV. I like the way they play, but I don't know these people. Number three, I got life entirely on my own. I got shit I'm trying to do, nigga. I'm trying to be a fucking, like, I'm trying to not work a 9 to 5 of my life and be a fucking professional entertainer. I want to be a hip-hop and R&B artist. That's what I'm looking for. And then obviously we're going to continue the content when we make it there. But I have a goal to reach. And obviously I got 9 to 5 to work too. Bro, I don't have time to sit there and obsess over another fucking grown-ass person. Even Kaylani, who I'm a huge fan of, I don't think about her like that. Some of y'all niggas need a mental evaluation. Because for y'all to think about another person like that who don't know just to make up a story, that shit is weird. It doesn't make any sense. It has no legs to stand on. It's fucking dumb. Okay? I ain't gonna hold you. I'm not gonna sit up here and tell you that she couldn't have came to the game. That woman's a grown-ass woman. She wanted to come to the game because I think she was torn in Brazil. Which Joe Biden mistakenly said Britney Spears. Thought that shit was hilarious. That's another sidebar conversation. But yeah, real quickly, just brush it up on that. It's like, I'm happy her ass wasn't there. Because the whole NFL would have made it about, oh my God, every Fox, there's Taylor Swift. It looks like she's looking for when the pizza comes, and I don't know if she's looking for pepperoni or sausage. How about this? Get off her motherfucking meat. Pause. You understand where I'm coming from? Like, bro, like, I'm happy she actually wasn't there because instead of us enjoying the game, Jalen Hurts versus Patrick Mahomes, the Super Bowl rematch, and here's the thing though, and this is, I'm light criticism for Joey Shakes. Like, just light. I fuck with you. Everybody know, like, Joey Shakes my favorite Eagles content creator ever. Light criticism. Brother, I get that the NFL can be annoying with this other shit, but you have to understand that everything is about entertainment. Right? It's not just playing the football game. Is getting people to view the football game of people who don't normally watch football anyway, right? It's about attracting viewers, about hyping it again so people can watch it, right? This is the NFL is in the business of entertainment as well, not just, okay, players play on the field and we're just good off that. No, it's a whole branded thing involved. It's a whole business, a whole marketing team behind pushing this to as many people to try to get them to watch the game as much as possible. Obviously, this is a regular season game. It's nice to have another W in the column and get closer and closer to clinching the #1 seed in the NFC so we get that bye all the way back to the Super Bowl. Hopefully that's the case. You know what I'm saying? I want to get back to the goddamn big game and hopefully walk away with some rings this time for the Philadelphia Eagles to get our second championship. You know what I'm saying? I would like that very much. I don't tell you, I'm sorry, the 1960s don't fucking count. I won our second Super Bowl ring this year. Alright? So, you know, at the end of the day, I don't have a problem with them talking about the Kelsey's face and shit. I don't have a problem with that. Why? Because they're not being annoyed. They're doing exactly what they've been doing since the beginning of time. Hyping the games up to try to get you to watch. And I have no problem with that. What I did have a problem is you keep mentioning, there's Taylor Swift. Like, you motherfuckers are, her boyfriend is Travis Kelce. Is it Travis Kelce? If he ain't all over her like that, feeling like her, it's no reason y'all niggas should be doing the same thing. Okay? So I want to just mention that sidebar real quick. It's not that important. I just wanted to bring it out there. We're in the business of entertainment. This is the entertainment business. That's what it is. It's marketing behind dollars behind this shit. That's why you see like fucking 15,000 commercials and shit when you're watching NFL highlights on YouTube. If you think I'm lying, go watch an NFL YouTube highlight and go count how many goddamn commercials and ads, especially the ones that are non-skippable, that you'll find while you're trying to watch a fucking 13-minute, in between a 10 and 15-minute video. You'll get counted about, you act like you about to watch a whole stream. You watching a 10 to 15-minute video, and you'll about like 5 breaks in between. And it'd be like every 30 seconds, like, goddamn, like, I'm not watching the shit on TV, I'm watching the highlights. But it is what it is. 2 things happened. So, Jergens and Bradley Roby came back. Can't talk about Jergens too much because I wouldn't speak about the offensive line as a whole this game. So, I'm not talking about Jergens. It's nice to see Jergens back in his original position. Opeta, I was cool with. Steen, got some work to do, but, you know what I'm saying, who's to say he can't improve? You know, this is his first year. He's an undrafted free agent, right? There's no heavy expectations set on him. So, as long as he continues to grow, he'll be straight. Okay, yeah, so Bradley Roby came back to the nickel spot, established some stability in that position because we need it. Sidney Brown, not good enough. We're going to talk about Sidney Brown ass too. And I'm not going to get on him too hard, pause. But I'm going to say what I saw. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna, you don't think about the channel, I don't sugarcoat a motherfucking thing. I'm going to say exactly what I saw and what needs to happen according to how I feel. I'm going to say I don't give a shit. So, moving on, let's get into this game, man. Let's get into this game. Talk about Jalen Hurts. Now, Jalen Hurts, before this game started, saying that, you know, this bye week was needed, which I already know. But I know he was in a hell of a lot of pain, especially with DeMarcus Lawrence hit his goddamn knee, trying to do some dirty shit. I know that, you know what I'm saying, and he's been in pain and having to grunt this out. I'm happy this bye week came, you know what I'm saying, gave me a break to refresh. It was some frustrations here and there not being able to put the video, this button video out in a timely fashion, but shit happens. It is what it is. I can't go back and go reverse time. You know what I'm saying? So, when it comes to Jalen Hurts, so it was good to see that, but he did ended up wearing some kind of knee sleeve. I think the Lisa Salters, don't quote me on that if that's her name. I think it's Lisa Salters, don't quote me. But she mentioned something about him having a knee sleeve as like a protective measure, something of that nature. So did not go completely without any knee protection. So he had a protective sleeve on. Okay. He was definitely more willing to run this game. I'm gonna read off the stat line real quick because I don't remember shit by hand whatsoever. Okay, cool. So he was 14 for 22, 150 yards, 1 interception. He would have had a touchdown had he probably thrown the ball just a tad bit deep. But you also gotta remember, like, bro, he's under pressure the whole fucking game. We'll get into that in a little bit. Under pressure the whole game. Excuse me, and it's raining. It was raining. I think it stopped raining at one point in time, but it was raining. There was not that great conditions out there on the football field. You know what I'm saying? So it was raining. So he threw the ball the best of his ability. I think had he thrown it a little bit deeper, it probably he would have had a Devontae Smith for a touchdown. That was the beautiful catch for Devontae Smith that happened in that fourth quarter. I think that was basically like that pretty much sealed the deal for us. At least on the offensive end. But here's the thing, right? With Jalen Hurts, people said he played bad. Oh, and I think he had 14 carries for 29 yards and 2 touchdowns as well. Okay? So, he was running a lot more. We'll talk about Brian Johnson in a minute. But, I don't think he played perfect. I think that interception that he threw to A.J. Brown, because Troy Aikman said, well, you know what, you're playing quarterback, there's people in your face, you're not going to be, you don't really see it. But here's how I would counter that. You don't just throw the ball up for grabs. So he said he was just trying to get rid of the ball. Okay, cool, but you don't throw the ball up for grabs. You have to know who you're throwing to. Right? So that interception that he threw, and A.J. Brown, I guess they was having a heated conversation because, you know, he let his ass have it. What pissed me off, what really pissed me off, and people will say, well, it's the rules are rules. Shut the fuck up. I'm going to say it anyway. What pissed me off, bro, A.J. Brown made the guy fumble and got the ball back. Just tell me his fucking leg, because he made contact with him, he's down. His leg just brushed up against him like, oh, like, I was so pissed and livid because A.J. Brown punched the ball out, got the ball back, and got possession. And they overturned this shit. It's almost, well, they overturned because they counted it as an interception, but they didn't overturn the call. They kept the call as is. But that shit pissed me off. I'm like, yeah. I don't know why I had to hit the fucking, just out of nowhere. It happens. Moving on. So, what pissed me off personally was how A.J. Brown clearly punched the fucking ball out. He didn't touch him with his hands. I thought he had to touch somebody with their fucking hands. He didn't fall over him. He brushed him by his leg and it said, oh, he's down by contact. Are you fucking serious? Are you serious? Are you, like, you can't make this shit up. So that pissed me off because we could have had the ball back. We should have had the ball back. Though it was a very, very, very careless play by Jalen Hurts. It was a god-awful interception. There's no way you can convince me otherwise that was a good. Because it's the fact that he threw the fucking ball up just for grad, for grad. When he wasn't like it was a bad. And A.J. Brown was open. I think he was much deeper down the field. But that was definitely not a good job on Hurts' part. Hurts did miss a couple wide open people at times, and I think here's the reality situation. Okay, this is what I want people to understand. There are a lot of great teams in this league. We're pretty much facing damn near all of them this year. Okay, there are a lot of good teams in this league. At times, sometimes it's like, the Eagles are just beating themselves. The other times, you got to give credit to the other team when credit's due. Steve Spagnuolo. I'm gonna say Spagnuolo. I don't remember if it's Spagnuolo or Spagnola. I say Spagnuolo. It sounds better. It sounds better anyway. So Spagnuolo. I underestimated the hell out of him. I did not know how good this damn defense was. This defense is really, really fucking good. Really, really good. And then what kind of was different about the way they did it, how they defensive coordinated against us versus other teams, they brought a lot of DB blitz, which is actually smart. And especially when you're dealing with a mobile quarterback, right? Because you want to try to keep him contained with speed. You understand where I'm coming from? And then one thing about Sirianni and how this offense is put together with him, Brian Johnson, the whole collaborative effort, how they put this offense together, there's no single back plays. There's no, let me take the ball out from out of center and do a quick pass. No, it's like this elongated ass shotgun snap. And you're in the shotgun damn near 97% of the fucking games. Yeah, of course you're going to get sacked. You got DBs coming at you. They're flying at you. And you know what I'm saying? This offense is already shitty enough. Alright? And then obviously for those of you that have forgotten, Dallas Goedert also is out because he had a broken forearm. So the forearm fracture. Sirianni did mention that actually he might be back 3 weeks because the 4th week would technically be the bye week. So, hopefully that's a good sign. Hopefully they're not rushed about the... If it's going to take a month and a week, let it take a month and a week. It's fine. But if he's, like, ready to go at, like, literally 4 weeks, which would include the bye week, yo, let's play him. You know what I'm saying? Like, but don't rush him out there. You know what I'm saying? If he's not 100% or he doesn't have to play, I don't think we should. I don't think we should play him. You understand where I'm coming from? Because I don't want nothing bad to happen to God. I want God to really come back to be as close or if 100%... or 100% health, if possible. You understand where I'm coming from? So when it comes to Spagnuolo, man, he did a lot of defensive back blitzes, which is smart as shit. That was genius. It was very, very genius. And it was something different. I gotta admit, outside of Jason Kelce, this offensive line in general played really, really bad. Nobody was good. Lane Johnson wasn't good. Nobody was good on that offensive line last night. Everybody was getting their asses whooped. Everybody. So when you have no pressure to throw the ball, you're going to make dumb decisions because you're trying to, make something out of nothing. You feel the effects of the pressure. And, you have to give credit where credit is due. He really came out and he put a hell of a defensive game plan against us. He really did. And yeah, DeAndre Swift had a good day running. I don't want to try to jump too much across the board. I want to still stick on Hurts. DeAndre Swift had a pretty good day, all things considered, but he wasn't an insane day. I think the Chiefs, when it mattered, stopped the run. You know what I'm saying? Speaking of stop run, we're going to talk about the defense later on. But when it comes to Jalen Hurts specifically, it's too many factors in that game that said he was trash. It just wasn't. It just really was, right? Now, I thought that Brian Johnson did a really good job of running with DeAndre Swift when he was supposed to. I think we had to abandon the run later on because excuse me, we fell behind early, and we needed quick points. So I'm not mad at them for abandoning a run. I think we did a really good job of involving DeAndre Swift, and it was possible. Boston Scott had a couple good carries. Gameo was in on a couple plays. So I thought we did a pretty good job when it came to balancing out when to run, when not to run. I think the last couple games for Brian Johnson, he's been doing a really good job of actually feeding DeAndre Swift the ball. And we'll talk about DeAndre Swift in just a little bit, but I want to still finish more Hurts. Outside of that interception, and yes, he did miss. He missed twice on wide open guys down the field. I think both of them were on a third down. It might have been two separate. It was either on the same possession. Well, it can't be two dumb as fuck. But I don't know if it was the same different possession. But it was on a third down. He did miss Devontae Swift wide open, and he missed another guy wide open down the field as well. And that has something to do with him feeling the effects of constant pressure in his face. So that offensive line was probably that was the worst offensive line performance I've seen in a long time. Normally this unit be on point. Kelsey played pretty good, but everybody else it was an off game for them to say the least. So shout out to Spagnuolo, man. He's him and that guy McDonald from the Baltimore Ravens, that defensive coordinator for them. It's a foot race between the best defensive coordinators in this league. It's a foot race between those two for sure. Shout out to Spagnuolo, like he coached a hell of a game. And the funny shit about it is like the Chiefs defense, and it's kind of crazy to say this, the Chiefs really never had a good defense in the Mahomes era. Of course, you got Chris Jones is still elite. I think he's one of the most underrated players in the NFL. But his ass could stay underrated when he's talking about that, yo, I got a friend that plays rugby. Nigga, Milana played rugby before he played football, and he told y'all that it's not a fucking rugby play. It's not. He played the goddamn game, bro. You didn't play the games, or whatever your friend talk about. You didn't play the game, sir. Milana played the game, and he's telling y'all asses it's not a rugby play. So I got a plan to stop it. And they didn't stop a fucking thing. Because it resulted in 2 touchdowns and a couple of very nice chain-moving first down conversions. So he didn't, whatever the fuck he had a plan for, this shit didn't work. He did get a sack or 2 that game, so Chris Jones actually did pretty good, all things considered. But his plan, whatever the fuck it was, even if he had one, maybe just blowing smoke, him and Isaac, whatever the case may be, it did not come to fruition at all. So going back to Jalen Hurts, I don't think he played bad. I just think he would just, some games are a chess match. And it's not necessarily about having big numbers. He doesn't need to have 250, 300, 400 yards, 500-yard games. He doesn't need to have that. But going back to Spagnuolo with this unit isn't the best unit, right? They got guys that play hard. They just have a collective group of guys. Like Trent McDuffie, who I wanted the Eagles to draft, which I'm glad they didn't listen to my dumb ass. And don't get me wrong, Trent McDuffie is an underrated player and a very good player for the Chiefs. He definitely was the Chiefs hit that pick. I knew he was going to be a good player, and he's trying to be a really good player. Jordan Davis level of good, I don't know. But Trent McDuffie, I think, is like a Pro Bowl reserve type player, if you ask me. Not a guy that's going to go super crazy, but somebody that's like, yo, when he go on the field, similar to Marshawn Lattimore. I think Marshawn Lattimore is better than him, but I do think that Trent McDuffie, one thing I like about Trent McDuffie versus most corners, he actually can tackle. He can tackle for real. So, and he showed that he was coming in on some blitzing. Trent McDuffie played really good, man, and that was who I wanted the Eagles to draft, but good thing they didn't listen to my dumb ass because you look at Jordan Davis. And which we'll talk about the defense later on. We'll talk about a little bit more about Jalen Carter and Jordan Davis as in terms of their performance on the field last night, okay? But for Jalen Hurts, I don't think he played bad. I think he, obviously there's some things that we wanted different, like maybe not fumble the football, maybe not throwing that really stupid-ass interception that wasn't called for, and it was a completely bad decision. But other than that, I thought he did a really good job, all things considered. I think he played well enough to win the game, and he made throws when it counted, and I think that's all you could ask for. And I don't think he played, so we should be saying, oh my God, he played great. No, he didn't. But he didn't play bad. And it's stupid ass, this is why, like I'm saying, I'm going to be honest with you, I'll be like, yo, Jalen Hurts, you wild, you all a little bit on your high horse. If the media acts the way This fucking Eagles post-game live host acts like regular business. 1 minute they win, next minute they're not. Every time the stat sheet don't look good, they're like, oh, he had a trash game. Not taking into consideration what actually took place in a game outside of just the raw stat sheet. The raw stat sheet tells you about maybe 40 to 50% of what happened. 50 to 60% is dedicated towards, okay, what actually has taken place in this game for certain things to come out the way that it did. You understand where I'm coming from? Talk about DeAndre Swift. Talk about bailing our asses out. He bailed our asses out, boy, on multiple occasions. He was bailing our asses out for sure. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and here's the thing, what pissed me the fuck off. This is what pissed me off the most. So, you know, he's doing, Brian Johnson, I'm gonna leave that to when I talk about Brian Johnson. Let's just say that, you know, I was happy when they started doing dump off passes in the fourth quarter. I'm like, where the fuck was this? Why did y'all abandon this? I really like Brian Johnson's use of misdirection plays. I like that he's feeling more comfortable implementing this 2 running back, 3 wide receiver set. I think he needs to continue to do that. I like the misdirections and, you know, the plays that can come out of that. I think that was really, really good. So Swift did a hell of a job. I honestly think that, you know, whatever he was able to do, he did a good job. Like, I have no complaints about whatsoever about DeAndre Swift. I think when it came down to move the chains and come through in the clutch, he did it. He was breaking tackles, you know, doing everything he was asked to do. He did that, and he did his job, and that's all you can really ask for. So DeAndre Swift, shout out to him. He played really good. He balled out. Everybody's crying about Zacchaeus to the own and all that. I'm gonna be honest with you, the way that shit was looking, I'm happy the refs missed that shit. Yeah, it was a hole, but that shit was just so, like, minuscule. It's like, yo, that pity pat shit. It's like, you know what, whatever. Let him have the motherfucker. Like, DeAndre Swift need more goddamn touchdowns after Brian Johnson been ignoring this nigga damn near the whole season anyway. Who gives a fuck? He was gonna score regardless, hopefully, if, you know, Brian Johnson would have stick with the run. But we was gonna score. My sister, we probably would have scored regardless. So y'all that bitching and crying, dude, he missed the hole as a kid. Shut up. He got in. Deal with that shit. Ever since they say the Chiefs fan was crying about the refs, I don't think I need to be. I need to be crying about something else. And it has to do with your team directly. I'll get to that in a second when I get to the defense. But y'all don't need to be crying about no damn refs. It's a lot deeper than the goddamn refs. It's who the niggas that's on y'all offensive roster, to put it lightly. But yeah. So moving forward with that. So AJ Brown, a little quiet. Caught 1 reception. Vontae Smith had a great game. Here's the thing about the crazy shit that I've been hearing. Y'all keep talking shit about Devontae Smith. And listen, I understand I'm going to have bias in this because this is my favorite fucking wide receiver in the NFL, period. Slim Reaper, that's my guy. You know what I'm saying? But I want y'all to understand this shit. This man is fucking dangerous. Do you not understand this man's not that big? He's doing what the fuck he's doing, and he doesn't have a lot of size on him. That makes what he's doing even more impressive. Because he doesn't have the typical size of, the average size of an NFL wide receiver. He's a very, very small guy. And he makes up for that by playing super fucking tough and big, come through in big moments and not making no excuses. His attitude's in the right place. You can tell his work ethics in the right place because of how he plays. He plays fucking phenomenal. And don't get it fucked up. His numbers will be a hell of a lot bigger if AJ Brown, if we didn't have only got their weapons. That's what happens when you have weapons on your team. Sometimes it's going to be your night. Other times it'll be somebody else's night. Maybe Goddard if he was healthy. Maybe his night. Maybe it's Swift's night. Maybe it's Hurst or somebody. It may be AJ Brown's night. You know, so on and so forth. There's so many weapons that we can utilize. So don't get it fucked up. Not Swift. Devontae Swift's numbers isn't big because he struggles. He's not getting the numbers because there's so many weapons. And we have to just go with who the hot hand is. Period. So it's not about, don't get it fucked up. If DeAndre, you know, not DeAndre, I don't want to fucking keep trying to say DeAndre Swift. Devontae Smith. Don't get it fucked up now. If he wanted to go big and the offense said, yo, the offense running through him, best believe he's going to make it happen. He's one of the best route runners in this league. Him and Keenan Allen is like, it's a foot race. I say Keenan Allen and him and Devontae Adams is probably the best route runner in football. But between the 2 and 3 mark with Keenan Allen and Devontae Smith, they're right there. tough as fuck, tough as nails, athletic as hell, jump ball, run past your ass, speed, all of the intangibles, everything you want in an NFL wide receiver. All of the hype that came with him coming from Alabama and how they treat this nigga like he was the next Jerry Rice. The same amount of hype that they give from Marvin Harrison Jr. Those kids that have Devontae Smith, and he's came in the league and exceeded all expectations that were handed to him. And we're so goddamn lucky for this guy to be an Eagle. Hopefully he gets extended here. He needs to get it. He needs to be an Philadelphia Eagle for the rest of his goddamn career. Okay, if he goes somewhere else, I want him to be like so goddamn trash that like he can't do shit on a team except be like in a Udonis Haslem role, just be there, or like a fucking Vince Carter role on the Atlanta Hawks. I hope he's like a service to nobody. I hope this man just, if he can, be an Eagle for the rest of your goddamn life, bro. Like for real. Okay. So yeah. Moving forward with that. Y'all talking shit about the wrong guy. Be careful. Because he was on another team. He can start for any fucking team and still be a Pro Bowler, by the way. And still be top 10 in the league. Which he's top 10 in the league right now with all of these weapons. So don't get it fucked up. He's a top 10 wide receiver. And anybody who was hesitant to put him there, you just don't watch football. And I'll say that to anybody face. Anybody that says to me, Devontae Smith's not a top 10 wide receiver in football, I'm going to tell you to your face, you're either a fucking moron or you don't watch the games. Period. You watch the highlights. What the fuck the highlights going to do? The highlights going to show you, okay, who's getting the ball. That don't say why Devontae Smith not get, why he don't have the big number. That don't say shit. So, just to believe, Devontae Smith at any point in time can turn it up. So yeah. I would like to talk about, I'm trying to think about what else. We need to talk about Brian Johnson's play calling to wrap up the offense, okay? It's very important that we get this through. Brian Johnson did actually a pretty terrific job with his play call. And that's going to sound crazy to all y'all. But it's going to sound crazy because the majority of y'all don't actually pay attention to the games. He ran with DeAndre Swift like he was supposed to. He ran the ball enough times he was supposed to. He mixed it up. He did a good job bouncing and running the pass. He made good decisions. He put in some new plays where he did like a misdirection, I think, with the single back. I like that very much. It was like a little handoff on the opposite side type shit. I think it happened like in the third or fourth quarter. So that was really good. But here is the underlying issue. Okay, here's the problem. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, this happened in the Eagles. It happens in the Cowboys game too. Here's the thing. It's not about what you do throughout the majority of the game that matters. All of that gets wiped clean when you make bad decisions in the clutch and attempt to cost your team the game. I don't give a fuck if you had a 200-yard first half as a wide receiver. If you come in and you had negative yards in the second half and your team lost because you kept dropping the ball, which, speaking of drop, you're going to talk about that later on. But if you kept dropping the ball and you had negative yardage, niggas gonna be looking at the fucking second half. They don't give a fuck about you having a 200-yard. They were like, yo, you fell off. That's gonna be. They ain't gonna be like, oh, he had a 200-yard first half and he just struggled. No, it's like, no, your whole there is gonna be trash just because of what you did in the moments when your team needed you the most. And for Brian Johnson, he did a really, really good job. I think the overall game plan of what was supposed to take place in the game, he did a really, really good job, if you ask me. But it's not about that. It's about what you do in the clutch. So here's the thing. When you go back to start doing dumbass fucking ill-advised quarterback draws, and you're doing this shit in clutch moments, and what it seems to me at this point in time, it's a cop-out for saying, I don't want to have to think about route combinations. I don't want to have to be creative with this offense and really think about, okay, what are some creative ways I can, get people to run routes and get the first down. I'm too lazy to do that shit. So I'm just going, because I have no ideas left, and I'm not fucking smart enough or creative enough or, want to put the work ethic in it to come up with some really, really good plays, I'm just going to settle for a fucking quarterback draw. Or he's going to do some shit where he did the last fucking drive, which he cost us the game, because that defense came through. Roby gave us the ball back. Byer gave us had an interception. So we had the ball. But what Brian Johnson decides to do is do stupid ass pass, and then the screen passes. Then I don't understand why the fuck do you have Julio Jones going out for screen passes? Julio's never been known for speed. And listen, I'm not telling you guys he had no speed back in the day, but Julio was known for his physicality, and his ability to beat you down the field. That's what made Julio Jones special. He could block, and he'll whoop your ass down the field. Like, he was physical. He'll get the jump balls. He's athletic, you know what I'm saying? That's what Julio Jones was known for. Julio Jones is a deep threat wide receiver. That's his game. His game is not, I'm going to go catch a screen pass and try to outrun everybody in the field. That's never been Julio Jones' game. Why the fuck are you doing? And you're doing it at a point in Julio's career where Julio don't have that much speed left. Julio is past his prime. What are you doing? You're doing stupid shit. Like, and you expect it, like, I don't understand. You're doing it at the most critical points in the game. Explain to me, what the fuck in your righteous ass mind thought it was a good idea to run a screen pass with a wide receiver who's A, not known for speed like that, 2, he's past his prime. What the fuck, where is he going? So you're running, instead of you thinking of like, and then this one pisses me off. Because sometimes we're going to be in a really, really big hole. Where the offense needs to win the football game. It can't be the defense. The offense needs to win the football game. And if everything is 100% solely on the offense, and we get behind like in the playoffs, I'm nervous. Because this man is lazy and he does stupid shit. And he doesn't care. Like, I saw that he cared throughout 3 quarters. That fourth quarter that fourth quarter play caller was fucking atrocious. It was the worst thing I've ever seen. It was fucking dumb. And it goes to show me that you don't care about what you do enough. You don't give a shit. You know what I'm saying? And I wish, like, some year I wish that Brian Johnson would get chewed the fuck out. I want to see that happen. Because, you know, some of the shit he does, it's like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, what made you think it was a good idea? And here's another thing, too, okay? With Dallas Goedert's absence. Number one, I think trying to make Stoll implement it. Let me say something right now. Jason Witten, if y'all remember watching Jason Witten was slow than a motherfucker. I'm talking about a goddamn grandma on a jitterbug can move faster than this nigga. This nigga was slow as hell. For some odd reason, he was always open. I don't ask me why that was. I don't know. It's like he went and did what the fuck Sacha Baron Cohen did in A Dictator and just shot motherfuckers. Like, yeah, I'm wide open and got his hands out and everything. Because I don't know how his slow ass got past anybody and he was always wide open. Don't ask me why the fuck that is. I didn't know. I was growing up. I mean, how the hell is this slow ass nigga moving? How he open? How? You know what I'm saying? But Stoll is not known for his speed. And it's crazy because Brian Johnson was a quarterback coach. He was around Steichen and he saw Steichen operate with Jack Stoll in the passing game. So I would think, okay, in this game, you know what I'm saying, Goddard out. It's fine if you have Stoll starting, which I probably wouldn't. I would have demoted him to the number 2 tight end and had Albert O in place. And here's the thing. Why the fuck are you putting Albert O? Especially when when they're doing DB blitzes and you got guys that can run and catch. Put them on the fucking field. Like, instead of having Julio do stupid ass screen passes, which that's not what the fuck he's known for. He's never been known for that shit, even in his prime, when he was whooping, him and AB was whooping the league's ass. He was never known for that shit. Why not have him do deep passes down the field? Why have him do deep routes down the field? Do some post routes. Do some out routes to the sideline. Some shit like that. Like, why the fuck are you sitting up there doing dumb ass shit? Like, why is it Zacchaeus not getting more involved? Zacchaeus should be getting, when you're blitzing DBs, go hit Zacchaeus. Go hit Zacchaeus. Go hit fucking Albert O. Go put them in the game. Go have Albert O do some goddamn seam routes. Use your fucking brain. When a team is blitzing, they're leaving somebody open. So all you gotta do is just take your time to craft some shit where you can just eat them up all day. Pause. But I'm gonna say what I'm saying, but pause. You understand what I'm talking about? Eat them up all day. Whether it be slants, some shit in the middle. Maybe it's a quick seam route with the tight end. Just something to get the ball out and expose the defense for blitz and discourage them from blitzing. That's the point. That's what you got to do as an offensive coordinator. Like, okay, they're blitzing with defensive backs. Let me make sure that we can keep the defensive backs in coverage so we can do what the fuck we want to do now. So that way Hurts can have some time. Because there's one thing when your defensive line keeps beating your offensive line. It's already bad enough. But when you got DBs, who the hell is blocking the DBs if everybody's going for routes? Who's blocking? And then you got to take a long snap from the shotgun. Who's blocking these defensive backs? So that's when it's time to start getting creative with shit and start utilizing all your players. When you start running these stupid ass routes with the kids that don't get a first down, like third down, why the fuck are you throwing it to Stall? Stall is he not? Who's he going to outrun? Who? So keep this in mind. It's not about, and really, Brian Johnson almost cost us the fucking game because he was in the. You had 3 possessions in a row where we could have wasted time if the clock got first downs, kept the chains moving. They would have never had to deal with that fucking Scantling drop. Had we did what we supposed to do on the offensive end in the fourth quarter, we had we had it in our hands. So I'm glad we won this game. But at the end of the day, like, yo, do shit that makes sense. Stop doing stop having, okay, 80% together will be good. That 80% ain't gonna mean shit if you cost the team the game with bad play calling when the team needs you the most. So Brian Johnson, you gotta you have to. I don't think you're gonna cut the shit. I think you're gonna be the same way. I think you're gonna do the same shit next year because he's gonna be back. Let's keep it real. He's gonna be back next year. If Frank Reich comes back on the team, because Frank Reich's gonna be fired from the Panthers. It's almost. I don't wish it bad on anybody, but let's keep it real. They're not keeping Frank Reich. He's gonna be like a consultant to some degree. He's not being the offensive coordinator. Brian Johnson decides to come back for a second year. All right, I bet anything on it. But yeah, it almost cost us a game with that atrocious ass play call. It was fucking atrocious. So, you know, that really confused the shit out of me. And here's another thing about it. I want to mention this. I don't know if I mentioned this already, but Spagnuolo doesn't have a lot. You don't have no Marcus Peters, you don't have no Eric Berry, you don't have no Justin Houston, you don't have no Donateri Poe up the middle, even though Chris Jones is really fucking good and better than Donateri Poe and a future Hall. Both are future Hall of Famers in my opinion, but Chris Jones is a better player. But he don't have that talent. But somehow, he even deep forward a little bit, but somehow he always makes up for it. He don't have Tyrann Mathieu, but it's funny. He got these guys playing hard, and it's not one big name that stands out. It's not. They don't have. There's not one big name that stands like Willie Gay. Really, Willie Gay. Like, there's not one big name that's outside of Trent McDuffie. But there's no star on that defense. Outside of Chris Jones, there's no star on that defense. And Chris Jones is getting a little bit past his prime. That defense has no star at all. And they gave up Frank Clark, who was a big piece, a really important piece to their defense. They gave him up. I don't know where he's at. I don't know if he's back in Seattle or somewhere else. I don't remember. But they gave him up. So, yeah, shout out to Spagnuolo because he's making a defense play. That's a real motherfucking defensive coordinator, if you ask me. If you got no stars in your team outside of maybe Chris Jones, but if you have no stars in your team and you're making those guys play like that and you're like a top 2 defense in the league, one or two, whatever you decide, I think McDonald's better, but I'm going to say maybe Spagnuolo might be better because if he's playing, if he's doing this shit with less talent, and Baltimore got all this Baltimore got the best, Fred Warner's the best linebacker in the league, Roquan Smith is second place. But yeah, I mean, I guess maybe you could put Micah Parsons and T.J. Watt there, and then I guess you put Roquan Smith, I guess. But yeah. So I want to move on from that, okay, and start talking about the defense now. I want to talk about Mahomes and shit. People gotta understand. Here's the thing. Fuck the fact. Obviously, I'm gonna ride with my Eagles. Let me tell you about Mahomes is my fucking GOAT. That didn't sound right, so I'm gonna say pause, cause it sounds like I'm like talking about like I'm in love for it. But I'm keeping it real with you. Mahomes is my fucking GOAT. That's the GOAT right there. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck about the Eagles. We face shit. I don't. Mahomes is my GOAT, bro. You can't tell me nothing, no weakness this man has. And I'm gonna give y'all a little backstory quick for those y'all talking shit about this man. This man, I think, maybe playing 5. This is maybe his 5th year. And this man already got 2 Super Bowls. Now the Bradbury shit, ticky-tack, but still. And he has been consistently the best quarterback in the fucking league, period. Now obviously Aaron Rodgers did what he did a couple years ago, and some other people won MVP. Hurts played a little bit better, but if you talk about the most talented, the overall, it's like this. Somebody else might win MVP, but Brady was, you know, with chips are down, Brady's the best quarterback in the league. Mahomes is the Tom Brady of this generation. Well, not generation, because Brady is kind of the generation. But the point, the baton is passed to Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes has no fucking weakness whatsoever. He basically is who Josh Allen should be. I think him and Josh Allen basically the same player. They're both mobile enough players to run, could do everything in the book as far as throwing the football, but Mahomes is mentally more focused than Josh Allen. Josh Allen feels himself too much. Pause. He feels himself too much, and what ends up happening is that attitude and that ego ends up costing the team because you just chuck the fucking ball down the field. You know what I mean? So obviously Josh Allen fell off. No, he didn't. Josh Allen doing the exact same shit he's been doing since day one. Got all the tangibles. Definitely strong with that 230-pound frame. Can run, mobile, got a big-ass arm. One of the biggest arms in NFL history. Potentially, he got the biggest. I think Mahomes got the biggest arm of all time. You could throw in Vic and Rodgers, too, to have a conversation. But, jeez, like, talk about, they could throw the football at the fucking stadium with no problem. So, here's the thing. Mahomes has consistently, and here's the reality. I want to talk about this roster real quick. He has no #1 wide receivers. And forget about the fact, fuck the fact that Scantling dropped the ball. Scantling is like a 2, a light 2, really a #3 wide receiver, but he's a light 2, really a #3. He's a light #2. Scantling is a light, Valdez Scantling is a light #2. Really a #3 in my opinion, but he's a light #2. That's like the kind of player he is. Watson is like a #4, #3, #4 wide receiver. This is who he has starting. They got this guy Rice who, you know, he made some pretty good plays. But he don't have nobody but Kels, but fucking tight end. Let's keep it real. The only receiver he has is a fucking tight end. And then Pacheco can catch up the backfield. But Pacheco's a really, really good player, but he isn't Derrick Henry good or DeAndre Swift or Christian McCaffrey good. He's like a tier or 2 below that. He's like a tier 3-ish running back. Mahomes can do everything out there on that fucking football field. And believe me when I tell you, the interceptions he's thrown, #1, oh yeah, and you got Kadarius Toney, I think, has physical ability as far as the speed, but he got to work on catching that goddamn football because there's no reason why he shouldn't be a #1 receiver. He was traded to be a #1 wide receiver. But, you know, obviously he's not getting injured as much as he did when he was a New York Giant. But at the same time, he hasn't proved to be a legit #1, maybe not even really a #2 wide receiver. He hasn't proven that. He hasn't proven he can be a starting wide receiver in this league, to be honest with you. And he's good on special teams. I mean, he was whooping our fucking special teams ass. He was whooping our ass. Like, I seen recently Dante Hall, one of the greatest kick returners in football history. All the same shit that Dante Hall was doing in those fucking highlights on Twitter, that's exactly what the fuck Kadarius Toney was. Kadarius Toney was like, just shaking the shit out of motherfucker. I'm like, god damn. I mean, he was shaking the, I thought he had some fucking salt and pepper in his pocket. He was shaking the shit out of it. I thought Will Ferrell was like in the stands and he was like, had the fucking Wonder Bread hat on. He was like shaking bacon. I thought John C. Reilly was sitting right next to him. Because he was shaking the shit out of our goddamn team the whole time. Like, they was making me nervous. Like, it was bad. It was real bad. We could not, our special teams coverage on punt returns was fucking awful. To say the least, and it could have got ugly. They could have had a kick return, a punt return touchdown for sure. Okay, but they ended up getting good field position, and shit, we shut them out in the second half. But just briefly talk about Mahomes. I want y'all to understand who he has at his disposal. He don't have, and also his defenses outside of this year. He don't have no motherfucking Eric Berry. He don't have no prime Marcus Peters. He don't got no Chris Jones. You know, he's better than Dante, but he don't have no motherfucking Justin Houston in his prime. He don't have none of those. All that defense that was with Alex Smith. That was really. You don't have no goddamn Tyrann Mathieu. He had Tyrann Mathieu at one point in time, but the key pieces like Eric Berry, Houston, those guys were gone. He don't have none of those guys. He don't have no D Ford. He don't have none of those guys, and yet he consistently gets to the deepest parts of the playoffs consistently. I mean, I think he lost to the Visuals to the Chiefs the year that the Bengals went to the Super Bowl against the Rams. Excuse me, but consistently, Mahomes has been the best. Period. And y'all need to respect him a little bit more and give more respect to what he's doing. I get it, Eagles fan, you know what I'm saying? It's like we're facing him. We're not supposed to give him no credit anyway. But at the same time, like, yo, respect and credit is due when credit is due. You know what I'm saying? Like, this ain't Experian, but when credit is due, credit is due. So, yeah, outside of that corny ass joke I just made, you gotta put more respect on Mahomes' name. And also understand, he has not had a number 1 wide receiver. He's playing with light number 2s, really 3rd and 4th wide receivers on a different NFL roster. And that's just the truth. And it showed tonight. So yeah, I talk about the players individually. So I talk about Sweat getting off sides a lot in that first half. He cleaned it up. He was a little bit quiet. Not really, I would say this is probably Sweat's worst game this year. Again, nothing to get alarmed about. It's just that Mahomes is good at what he does, drew him off sides. Obviously, we want to have our players disciplined and not jump off sides. You know, shit happens. You can't expect Sweat to be perfect every game because he's been playing lights out at a starting Pro Bowl level. And I think Sweat, when all is said and done, Josh Sweat's going to be a Hall of Famer. He played great. Cox made a play or two, got like a roughing the passer, which, you know, it's going to happen. It's the heat of the game. But I gotta admit, I gotta give credit to the offensive line because Eden Carter made some plays here and there, but talk about neutralizing Jalen Carter and Jordan Davis. They're the only team I can honestly say that have effectively neutralized the point where they did little to nothing. They did a really, really good job containing Jordan Davis and Jalen Carter, that offensive line. So shout out to them. They did a really good job. Obviously, did a really good job with Pacheco getting runs. It was doing the shit out of me how he kept just getting run after first down, just getting big-ass gains. It was hard. It was hard to watch to do. So, Cunningham made some plays here and there. He wasn't perfect in coverage, but he made some pretty damn good plays in coverage. You know, with some solid tackling and you know tipping the ball. Almost had. I wish he would have had an interception, but he missed out on that. It's fine. Mara was a little bit quiet. Let's see. Let's go back to the secondary. So Slade's tackling in that first half was horrific, and I understand Nick Sirianni's gonna be yelling about that he was held. I don't want to hear that shit. I don't want to hear that shit. Slade's tackling was horrible. And he threw that little stupid ass fucking E Honda chop he was doing, but that was cringe as fuck. Like goddamn, that nigga need to take a dancing class pronto, bro. But anyway, outside of that, I know I shouldn't talk about that little stupid ass video on Instagram, but believe me, like. If you see me recently, that's not. I don't want to talk about my goddamn dancing. We'll move on. But Slade's tackling was horrible. You know, not a good job tackling. Bradbury is a little bit quiet. I think Bradbury did his job. I ain't gonna talk bad about him because I told you I was gonna rant about his ass. If he would do his job, I was gonna rant about him. So Bradbury's quiet, which in that case it's a good thing. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you make plays, but hey, if nobody whooping ass on your ass, that's fine. Hassan Reddick had a sack early. Hassan Reddick was a big X factor in this game, and I'm going to tell you why. So first off, shout out to the side because he did a really good job game planning against Kelsey. Kelsey did little to nothing. He got that little screen pass touchdown that was really set up by Pacheco's running, and then Mahomes was just picking us apart and and some good play calling on Andy Reid and that offensive coordinator. But I want to tell y'all something. It's like Reddick did something that, very underrated. He took Travis Kelce out of his game. Because, Hassan Reddick was actually held by Travis, but Travis Kelce would have played off. He was held by him. So, it got chippy between those two. And it was chippy for the whole fourth quarter. And the simple fact that exchange between those two going back and forth, Kelce dropped the pass. Kelce fumbled the football. And that fumbled football really was like the climax, like the complete turning point of the game. He took Kelce out of his game. Like, we already did a good job containing him for the most part, especially in that first half. But we really took him out of his game. Hassan Reddick, in that exchange, that verbal, altercation between those two, that really took him out of his game. And I think after that, Hassan Reddick got in his head. He wasn't the same player after that. He was fueled by emotion, and that's why I think he made some of the mistakes that he made. Now, again, great punch out by Roby. And by the way, Roby, without question, was the best defensive player on that field. Now, granted, and not entirely his fault because he got to have that safety help. I don't know where the fuck happened. I don't know what play was chosen. So, Bradley Roby, man, outside of him getting burnt as Scantling because, like I said before, I don't want to repeat myself, but we should have been that last team to have the ball. That didn't happen because of Brian Johnson's shitty play calling. Excuse me. It is what it is. Cindy Brown, Jesus Christ, do not allow this motherfucker to cover nobody one-on-one. Don't put this nigga in man coverage. I don't know how the covers will be looking or whatever. You know, what coverage that, you know, what's they be playing? Fucking decide. Don't have this nigga man to man no more. He can't cover nobody. This nigga could not even cover a fucking quilt on a mattress. He can't cover shit. He can't cover a motherfucking thing, bro. He can't cover it. This nigga couldn't even cover his food with aluminum foil, my nigga. Like, he could, if he had Thanksgiving leftover, this nigga couldn't take like some aluminum foil and cover that motherfucking that aluminum, that big ass aluminum plate that be carrying like leftover food and shit. He couldn't even do that. This nigga couldn't cover shit, bro. Couldn't cover nothing. This nigga couldn't cover somebody if they was on fire, bro. If they was having hypothermia, this nigga couldn't put whatever. I'm going all day. Cindy Brown was horrible in coverage. And again, this goes back to the conversation I was having in the last video. He's a safety. And he's stocky. So because he's stocky, he ain't going to be able to move as well. And I think he's more of a safety than a corner. So, you know, I don't know what the side is, but the side made the right decision as far as not starting him. And as far as him playing the nickel corner, and him coming in for that, for some man-to-man situations, no. Hell no. That nigga was getting his ass beat all game long. All game long. So yeah, I would like to move on to Blankenship. Did a really good job. He was tackling. He was making some hard ass hits. Motherfuckers ain't gonna talk about Blankenship, but Blankenship, he was making plays. Like he was hitting motherfuckers hard. So shout out to Blankenship. He had a really good game. Kevin Byard was getting his ass beat. In the beginning, I'm like, oh my god, this nigga trash. Like, we should have kept Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, man, because I didn't think Chauncey Gardner-Johnson was never this fucking bad. Like, he had a slow start, but he was never this goddamn bad in the beginning. All of a sudden, he had an interception. And that was a bad read. I mean, it wasn't necessarily a bad read because had he thrown the ball a little bit further, it could have been a touch. It could have been. Not guaranteed. Could have been. So, Patrick Mahomes underthrew the football, I guess. But either way, it was a great pick by Kevin Byard, and he also had a deflection off a safety blitz. So that was really nice to see Kevin Byard coming into his own, and he had a hell of a game. Because I was ready, I'm about to be like, yo, I promise you, honest to God, like, bro, when it comes to the goddamn, when I get on this goddamn behind this camera, I'm going to tell you that Kevin Byard, you're an ass. I was going to get on it. You know what I'm saying? I was going to be on it, for sure. But, you know what I'm saying? He redeemed himself. Listen, I apologize, brother. You can play. I was scared for me. I'm like, oh shit, man. Howie picked wrong. But it ain't Howie's fault. It was gonna be on Byard. Oh, it's about Decide. Decide. Hell of a game. I know I've been getting on you, bro. They say, oh, you fake. No, I'm not fake. I call shit the way I see it. Alright, if you're doing good, I'm gonna give you credit. If you're doing terrible, your ass, I will give you shit. This man was stepping up. Third down. He was blitzing. Doing defensive back blitz. Blitzing, doing safety blitz, like he was breaking the house. He was doing all-out blitz. I'm like, damn. I'm like, how fucking Kevin Hart was like, damn. You know what I'm saying? Like, he was blitzing. He was doing a hell of a job blitzing. That was pretty fucking impressive. That was an impressive show. And then to shut him out in the second half. Talk about answering the call. Even Lane Johnson admitted the defense came through. You know, everybody in my that defense showed up. Shout out to the side for his beautiful play calling. Not perfect, but goddamn it, you get an A from me, bro. A hell of a job. Hell of a job, man. Like the creativity with the play calling, the different looks, not being able to afraid to blitz. You know what I'm saying? Not always having guys back all the time. Decide. Hell of a fucking game, man. This is what pisses me off about you, though. You wait until games like Miami. You did your play call against the Jets was pretty damn good. The fuck is that? It's like a little hair or some shit. Whatever. The play call was pretty damn good when it came to the Jets. You know, motherfuckers gonna get on your ass about that. You did a hell of a job. Limited to one fucking touchdown that you allowed on purpose. You did a hell of a job. It was a fucking like little ass field goals that don't mean shit. Whatever. So you did a hell of a job with that. So let's see. Yeah. I have no complete. There's nothing really to talk about. It's like, yo, I understand people niggas will be like, you're fake as fuck. No, I'm not. I call shit the way I see it and decide. Not only you're clearly better than fucking Gannon. which I already said this shit already. It's nothing new. You just didn't perform the way you was performing the last couple of weeks. We're gonna call a spade a spade. You weren't performing well, but you came through, and you called a hell of a game. You shut Travis Kelce down, and yeah. And by the way, it also didn't help Mahomes that motherfuckers. Watson was dropping passes. Andy Reid had to get on his ass because he did something he was supposed to. I don't know if he ran a wrong route or some shit. He did something he was supposed to do, and he got on his ass. His name Christian Watson. They played for Green Bay, but his last name Watson. It's Watson something. I think it's like a backup tight end, maybe another wide receiver. I don't remember. But Watson was dropping passes. Scant was dropping passes. I don't think they even trusted Kadarius Toney to be out there in the field because I ain't see him in that offense really, if at all. Scantlin had a big drop. Obviously, he was upset about that. It happens. You know, obviously, you don't want that to happen. Clearly, especially if it's a touch fucking damn near a game sealer. Because our offense, the way Bryce was calling that plays, there's no fucking way we would have came back. Not the way that nigga was calling plays, it wouldn't have happened. Because all we would do was try to force the ball to Devontae Smith or AJ Brown, and that shit was not gonna work. So yeah, that's all I gotta say. Covey had a hell of a job returning. Punt returning, did a really good job punt returning, really good. Like I saw about some us feeling stupid about criticizing Covey. Covey a baller. So do not take this Bills team lightly. Josh Allen know that you know they tied this motherfucking team. I mean Trayvon Diggs trying to get Stephon Diggs to come to be a fucking Dallas Cowboy. We can't let that shit happen, right? Of course we don't want the fucking Bills to win, of course, but don't take this team lightly because when Josh Allen gets in the zone where he's taking care of that football, we saw what he was doing in weeks 2, 3, and 4. He was putting shit together, and when he was not turning the ball over, he was doing pretty damn good, and it was running teams off the fucking field. So don't take this team lightly. Decide, bring your fucking A game. This time we gotta stop the fine Diggs. Don't sleep on Gabe Davis. Don't sleep on Dawson Knox, his new guy Kincaid. They all could play. You know what I'm saying? His offensive line isn't bad. Cook, I think we could stop Cook. I'm not worried about fucking James Cook. I'm just not. Defensively, don't underestimate. They still got Von Miller. It's Von Miller. They still got some guys on there. I'm about to say Kiko Alonso or somebody else. I think it's Mets. I forgot what this nigga name, this linebacker name is. But yeah, they got pretty good, damn good linebacker. And then safety, they got that Jordan Poyer, and then this other guy, Micah Hyde. They can still play. Tre'Davious White is out. But don't take this team lightly. We still gotta play. And if we win this game, I'm telling you right now, we win this Bills game. I don't give a fuck about the second Dallas Cowboys game. We win this goddamn Bills game, bro. We walking out with the #1 seed, bro. But just stay focused. It's time you just call another game like you've been doing, like you did against Miami, like you did against it. When the back is against the wall, brother, you answer the call. I don't know. Don't get hyped about this win, because we got some shit to clean up. And don't get too caught up like, oh, the defense did great. No. Same shit, same script. All right. Next week, do the same thing. Brian Johnson, stop doing these stupid-ass quarterback draws. Start actually taking time out to go develop some good routes so we can start moving the motherfucking chains. All right, that's all I got to say. This is my battery about to run out of shit. Birthday got bitches, do I have a big bank cabbage go down. Just yeah, hit me the goddamn GoFundMe link down in the description. Any and all contributions will be appreciated. All right, my battery's about to die, so I'm talking so goddamn fast. Love y'all. Peace out. All right.